Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to what will be the upper bracket semi-final. Of course, we know we have ourselves a one-map advantage now in the Court of Spirit after the previous map, and what a dastardly performance that was for VwS. But overpass, it's a fresh start, it's a fresh slate. Let's see if VwS can bring something just a little bit better.
Definitely not a fresh map for VwS. They've already played it twice so far in this at the minors so far, and they've already won both of those games. Both of those were versus Rocks though, and Rocks, they did look like a mess on their T side and on their CT. So definitely a different caliber of team playing versus Team Spirit because one, they're experienced players, similar to Rocks, but the problem is these guys so far they've been playing together, unlike how Rocks were, and team play is definitely what you want to see on a map like Overpass.
Yeah, overpass is pretty damn important when it comes down to being together. Of course, it's probably one of the harder tactical maps in the game, you should be saying. You know, I am kind of intrigued to see what VwS can do, because this is their map pick, right? So they clearly have a benchmark to play in this. And you've already mentioned this isn't a fresh map for them in terms of they've actually played it before already in this tournament. So what do we know from them? What do we, if we were to write down VwS Overpass strat book, what will we be putting into it?
Fast early aggression towards B. That's what we've kept seeing as well. Also, what they do as well is they like to go party, take control of the party, close mid area, and then they'll smoke off toilets. And then you saw there Kalinka constantly flashing himself as well with Toff, I believe, constantly flashing themselves through the smoke up toilets and trying to get the first frag into toilets. That way, trying to catch the players off guard, and it definitely worked versus Rocks.
If it works at the end of the day, then it's a win-win for everybody, right? That's what we're looking to see. Is it seems like we are about ready to get started. Of course, we have ourselves the conclusion of the knife round. Just waiting for the players to get themselves readied up and overall back to the topic of comfort again to go live. So we talked about VwS Spirit. Now, I made a pretty, albeit bold comment, but I mentioned that I think Spirit will have the momentum off the back of a solid start to carry on through and take this map. You touched on that a little bit and think the momentum is also a pretty huge factor. So that really makes the pist round just that extra bit important. So let's talk about that. T side, CT side. What are we looking at here? What sort of strategical options do these guys have?
We saw on the previous map in the first round of the first best of three that VwS, they took the pistol, then instantly lost to the force buy. So yes, even the momentum is still in the favor of Team Spirit. VwS, they can get the pistol, but the problem is that following force buy, they can't lose it again. They have to keep their momentum pushing, try and keep the rounds rolling in their favor and trying to get a good lead. If they can get 3-0, win the first buy round, looking at what, 5-0 lead there, especially if they're on the CT side. I'm not too sure who won the knife round, but even more importantly than if they are on the T side and try and get control of the CT economy that way, try and make reads based off that.
Yeah, by all means, Overpass. You've acutely mentioned reads, and I think that sits rather nicely as well with breaching the topic of calls. Of course, Dust 2 didn't really feel like it was too structured. It just felt like Spirit, they picked a point of the map and they decided to continually abuse VwS over and over again, and we saw that almost get quite repetitive. So there has to be that level of change again, and it goes back also to the phrase of that fresh start. Do you generally think there's a chance for the calls to be different? Of course, we have to expect strategy.
Well, different map, of course, it's going to be different calls. It's just a change of pace. So we saw on the previous map on Dust 2, where on the T-side Team Spirit, they like to play nice and slow and allow DMO to get the picks towards mid. Davcost as well with his AWP to get the picks. The thing is, though, even when it went fast, we saw what happened. VwS towards long. The long take came out from the T's, and Spirit, they actually lost a lot of players early on. I believe Poon and his teammate got 3 frags there, and then 2 versus 3. That was actually one of the rounds they did win. So maybe if it is the fast, aggressive style that I know that the VwS side like to play on Overpass, maybe that can go in their favor. But when it was up for Spirit to choose the way they wanted to play on their T side, they did opt to go nice and slow and allow Davcost to get the picks of his AWP, and definitely worked out and paid dividends for them.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Overpass a little bit less of an AWP playground, but that doesn't nullify it by a long shot.
I think it's still CT side Overpass. The AWP is so impactful and so important, even more important than the CT side AWP than Dust 2 in my opinion. It's just the T AWP that's really crucial for Dust 2. But with a flip side there, in terms of the T side AWP for Overpass isn't really too impactful. There isn't really too many angles you can do. You can take control of mid, short, but you see G2, for example, Smith's the more supportive style AWPer. That usually is what flourishes on Overpass. Have your supportive AWPer, hold the angles and allow your teammates to push up. For example, Monster, have the AWP, peak Monster, hold the angle, allow the T's to push up Monster tunnel, or vice versa towards A long. But anyway, enough of that, into the pistol rounds, give the fast B short take.
Going quick and aggressive, and it's going to be Taurus to find himself the first opening pick of this matchup. A smooth headshot at that, but how much are they going to be able to do as a T-side? They do have control, sure, but they don't appear to really be doing too much with it, as right now, there's going to be a whole lot of thumb twiddling. The CT side, they're just withdrawing. They don't want to face too hard. They're looking for some information. It will be a bit of a jump peek over towards short, and that should give away at least one person's position, but that's going to be about it. So VwS, still not 100% sure, and for the T-side, ability to be a little bit more dynamic.
They've pushed up mid. They've got 2 players in connector, so the fast rotate can come in. You see these players already pushing into connector. No one on B. No one but barrel. So now Cold, he needs to find both of these frags. He gets one. Can he get the second one? Not really too sure so far. But Soft does find Lucky. Now out of connector, these players will come swinging. Poon finds one. He needs to find a second one here if they want a chance of winning this, because there is no kit currently for the CT side.
You know, that kit just makes the time ever so more important. Each second will count, and right now there's a whole lot of seconds being spent whiffing a bunch of shots, but Quick will finally respond and finds himself that headshot, but we're still waiting for the T side, and they just can't quite hit anything. The last 3 players, they all but struggle, leaving us to our pistol round victors.
You saw what happened when Team Spirit went for that fast play. The aim on these young individual Lithuanian players is so strong, and early frag went in advantage of VwS, and then Spirit were like, you know what, lads, let's just play this nice and slow. That's been working for us in the previous map. When they did slow down the pace, problem is VwS didn't get overly aggressive. They did not overface. No one peeked towards Monster. No one peeked B short, which was smart. They used the numbers game to their advantage. Even though both those players died B without a refrag, the fast retake went in favor of VwS, and now leading into this round, the bomb did not go down for Team Spirit, which means they are going to force buy into this with the Tech 9s and utility. Actually, maybe the bomb did go down. I'm not too sure, because look at the utility they have there. That's showing to me that potentially it did. I'm not too sure. There could be the force buy anyway. Givik spots the players. Did he spot the bomb though? I'm not sure if Soft dropped it before he did peek there. So if they do know the bomb's here, we could see the rotation from one of the players from B and have a stack towards A.
Oh, for sure, it's less about the bomb in the past and more about the bomb in the current, as right now for Spirit, that bomb plant, that's a bare minimum, let alone then trying to do the work off the back of all the utility they've invested into this one, and it does kind of give you that inkling that we're going to see a whole lot of smokes come down towards that A site, which, providing they can get them down right, could be a beautiful sight. But again, they actually have to get them down, and to do that, they have to get a little bit closer, and these UMPs, they may be SMGs, but they can still do a relatively good job if you just tap on away in terms of longer range damage. They're not completely unusable.
No, but the problem is that SMGs need close range, but the Tech 9s, they flourish in the close range doors, and now flashes come over towards mid. What can DMR find here? Nothing, as Kevik finds the first. Can he get the second? Yes, he can. 2 headshots for him, but he will be traded out by Tony. Soft finds the second frag for the T side. 3 versus 3. 40 seconds at the clock, and it will be planted. The bomb. Another kill for Davkost. He finds himself the first of his round. 2 versus 3. No kits as well.
Taurus is going to do some damage though. Keeping up with the pressure and gets a lot of information to work with, really aiding his teammate. And Soft knows he's now being pushed in from behind, tries to force the hand, but he forces it a little bit too far and ends up dislocating himself as Davkost snaps with the deal.
Ah, I muted my mic there by accident. That is a bit
I did wonder.
Yeah, I was taking a swig of water, ran out of
It's all good. It's been a long day, but nonetheless, we sorted out.
What I was saying to myself anyway was, Davkost, he does find 2 frags, but they're not the impactful ones. The impactful ones there were the trade that was found on Kivik, that opened up that A site, and Soft as well found that second frag on A. But we're going to see the fast B shot play. What was found the first was DMR again with 3. He's been such a good T-side player for Team Spirit so far in the previous map. It's definitely carrying through. And I mentioned before, VwS, they can't lose the force buy, and they did. This means now that Team Spirit, the momentum they had in the previous map, is definitely going to be carrying over.
It's just uncomfortable and not really something we want to be seeing, as now VwS already back on towards that ironically coined back foot. But for now, let's not look too far into the situation. They can try and save this M4 on towards Quick, providing he can, not overextend, which, considering the position of Coley, could potentially happen, especially if Coley does that 180 and decides to move on back through connector, which is seeming more and more probable by the second. But I want to look at VwS's future, because the scoreline is not, completely under the bus yet. There's still a lot of potential. However, the one concern we have...
there to that shot, like, hell. Welcome to LAN. Obviously, these players here, they're not really too accustomed to it. They are newer players to the LAN environment as such young, inexperienced players. And you mentioned the future of this team. The future of this team is to gain experience and try to work off that. They're not really looking for that major qualifier spot, probably too far out of reach. And instead, they're here just to test the waters, see how they are, try and get experience under the belt. But anyway, going to be the full eco for VwS. So potentially seeing a 3-1 in favor of Team Spirit. Unless some magic can happen, but unfortunately for them, the rock, paper, scissors does go in favor of Team Spirit, as VwS, they're stacked towards A. So fortunate scenes there for them.
Well, you sum up the point nice and comfortably. And it's pretty much a bit of a similar affair here, to be honest. There's not too much to say. You know, might as well keep it short and sweet. And you know, there's a pretty apparent thing at that, because VwS, it is pistols. The bomb's taking away. They tried to go for a stack. They failed. Clearly not the hottest poker players in the world in terms of the gamble.
Oh, no.
It's going to be a bit of a spray down, so damage to be done for Team Spirit, as they will be looking to claim these lives and at least make the small amount of dollar. But even then, nothing really too crazy. And again, it comes back to looking at the future.
Bomb ticking away, and the fourth round going in favor of Team Spirit. Will be the third for them. So you see these players, they keep moving around. It's like, I'm not sure if they're energetic, if there's a problem, or if they're just trying to enjoy themselves. I mean, I saw Pound there laughing away as they lost that previous round, which is quite strange. Then again, maybe they're just trying to play without pressure. Maybe they're like, you know what, guys, just play it for fun, enjoy this one, and see how that works for them. Because once you start enjoying the game, you stop overthinking yourself. You stop, I don't want to say not playing with confidence, but when there's all the pressure on the line, you overthink yourself. You're like, oh, I don't want to die here. I don't want to give away the frag. But when you play for fun, you play more aggressive, and maybe that's what they need. Maybe just take themselves out of this one just a little bit and try and change up the pace that way. But Kivik here trying to hold the off angle in connector, see if you can find any of these players that push up towards A from the T side. But right now, passive setup. But as I say, that Taurus peeks towards B, and he will find Tony. It's a lot of map control, a lot of map pressure going in the favor of the CTs now. And the T's, they will slowly push towards this A site.
The CT side, they have themselves almost a perfect diagonal line from long through to B of solid map control, and there's not too much Spirit can do in terms of breaking that right now, as in order to punch a line, they need to group up together, as going for these individual picks is almost a certain death sentence, so it certainly is nice to see them begin to get themselves sort of over towards B short. But that drop from Dima, it's going to give away the steps, and we are going to start to see Kalinka decide, you know what, I'm going to jump around here, I'm going to look for something, which certainly makes it smart for Spirit to prompt the idea of heading back up towards A.
Definitely smart indeed. The problem is, though, with the man disadvantage, as long as VwS play the smart, don't overface. They don't want to throw away their life right now. You shouldn't be doing that. That flash it, don't die. That's okay. Luckily for him, he did not fall. If he died there, it meant that the 4 versus 4 would have been so disappointing for VwS there. But fortunately for them, Dav Cost will whiff that shot, and now comes in this B execute.
Yeah, gotta push straight in towards Taurus, but he's only able to get one, and one by one, the rest of his teammates, they seem to be crumbling. It's all gonna come down to Pound and Luke. 15 seconds on the clock, the T side, they have to get that bomb down, and you'd sit here usually and go, okay, well, Luke will try and contest the plant, but he's not in the position. He's over towards Graffiti. He spots out ahead, but he's just struggling to get the bullets in. And it leaves him in, well, a 2-man crossfire. Graffiti is where they find themselves at, but it's going to be tough, and Coley, well, opens it up with a headshot on towards Luke, leaving just Pound a 1v3.
Taurus now with his hand on his head, thinking, how on earth have we thrown that? 5 versus 4. The B take comes in. The trade frags come out. You've got to think as well. Only one frag that was traded, but that one frag, when they're in the afterplant, they could get the positions they needed. They were playing quite far away from B. They had 3 players towards A, 2 towards B. They kill one of the 2 players B, and that means they can get such good afterplant positions that once the retake comes in, they can cover themselves, and the frags do come in favor of Team Spirit.
Certainly does set them up nicely, and I do have a bit of a fun question for you, Snods, because we're going into our 5th or 6th round now, and how many times have we had the heads falling into their hands moment? It feels like we've already said that about 4 times.
Yeah, I mean the thing is as well, this is their map pick and the final map potentially for them at the minor, so even though they are quite upset, they won't be giving up like we saw them do on Dust 2, and hopefully they will put up more of a fight. Just such a shame considering how well they played versus Rocks and how much, confidence and aggression they had playing the previous map on Overpass and the previous match there, but this time, slightly different, caught off guard maybe by the team player Spirit, maybe by the aim as well. We've been seeing some nice shots, some nice sprays coming from DMO and Cody. Oh!
Tony just
finds one.
Putting on a bit of a show really, isn't he? Just sitting there, holding ever so tight. Gonna keep on tapping away and straight through the fence.
Can see him smiling there as well, having a whale of a time there. Anyway, though, Kivik now as well, trying to equalize his numbers, but the problem is the CZ at that range. No one's going to be facing close to him unless Dima just runs in and falls down, but I don't think it's going to happen as Davcost and Coldy find those 2 frags in connector. That's Taurus, last alive. And they did half buy into this, you've got to remember that as well. It's not quite the full eco, but they will have the rifles leading into the next round, and they get the first pick, and they still lose these rounds. So they need to be playing better as a team. Maybe play more for a retake, but have the flashes and utility to go with it. Taurus actually misbuying a Zeus there potentially. It's 300. That's a smoke, an HE grenade, or even a flash that he will not have leading into the next round.
For sure. As now it comes down to just that waiting game. I do have a... We'll let this one happen first, as Taurus is going to fall to his death. I think it was inevitable, so I do want to ask... Dust 2, it was very, very clear. I think it was pretty self-explanatory. Overpass, I feel like it's a little bit more complex and very much more specific to the situation, so...
Depends. It really depends on how you want to play it, really.
Well...
You can play it nice and slow, play tactically, or you can play it fast and aggressive, go for fast map control, and that was working for VwS on their T side. Thing is, they're on their CT side, and Team Spirit, they play the much slower paced game, and the problem is these youngsters, they are, you know, I don't want to say crumble under the pressure, but they are over-facing and dying when they shouldn't be. Pound, though, in connector. Playing solo here, but does have Kivik there to hold mid with his AWP, and that's really important. Kivik has the AWP. The thing is, though, if Team Spirit play nice and slow and go towards B, that AWP on the retake will be useless. Flash coming in over to mid now to toilets. Can they get the control of the map? And yes, they shall. 2 players playing towards long. Problem is, though, Kivik's AWP, it needs to have more impact into the round than what it is now. If the bomb goes down on towards A, yes, he has the long range angle from long. The problem is he needs to find the early frags for his team, because right now, his AWP is useless.
Well, that's the thing. You know, if we look at the setup, it's almost a bit of a throwback to the early days of LG when Fallen was beginning to form up on overpass and started to really change things up, you know, with this passive style on the CT side. But the difference was Fallen, he was able to have an impact and pierce open, you know, 1 or 2 frags with that AWP. But right now, that's not happening. That is the missing link for VwS. Let's see if it can change. As we are going to begin to see some smokes barrel on over towards that site. And a lot of pent-up aggression towards long, meaning that's going to be a hot point of contention. But the contest, well, feels a bit one-sided as Dima one-taps on towards Pound.
Flash is coming in now as well. Maybe Kivik might be caught off guard because he's got an AWP. He's going to have to use it like a shotgun right now. Dima comes in. Yes, he will. Finds the first one. Dima falls. And now the T's, they're like, you know what, guys? That's just a fake. We're here to go B. And now Lucky here with the off angle towards B shot. Catches off Coldy. He's thinking, how the hell did he find me there? Lucky as well gets a second. But we'll get traded out. And Davcost finds 2 with the Deagle. Molotov and Kalinka on the retake. Shall take that round in their favor. Now it's going to be 2 rounds on the board for VwS, and better showing there. Far, far better showing there. The first frag from the AWP. Not really expected frag there. Using it like a shotgun. Does get that kill, and the player that was going for the fake does fall early. And the fact that he falls early and didn't die. I mean, you got to think. Imagine if that player got the kill onto Kivik. Imagine if Kivik died there. You'd have seen more rotations from B go to A, and that could have been a very, very different round. So, well played by him.
Certainly is a way to get shown in a more positive light, and that's exactly what we want to be seeing, to be honest. We want to see this improvement. As we berated that AWP in the last round, what a way for it to step up. Finds the initial pick. Now looking for a quick second. Both players will miss their shot. So, in retrospective, not all that bad, but the counter utility actually relatively strong as well, because it pretty much zones off connector from the portion of the map, and albeit only for 15-16 second period, it's enough to force a bit of rotation. But look at Pound right behind Davcost.
Smart player there coming in from behind. No one else there for him though. It's going to be the 3 versus 5, and these T's are slightly split. Only 2 of them here on B short than 1 player Monster. If he falls there with a bomb, that will be dire. Now the push comes in towards Monster. He does get that first frag. Look, he will fall. Torres here holding the off angle. Can he catch that player off from Monster? Reposition himself towards water behind the site. The smoke comes in. The flashes come out. Just allow the bomb to go down, or allow the T's to push in. You have the man advantage. Just don't throw it away. Kalinka finds Tony. Another frag there for Pound.
The push is going to take some shape. Cole's going to try and put up a bit of a fight, but gets stuck. Oh, but a 1v2, as he will at least find the frag on towards Kalinka moments before he gets led to his death. And it means that we have that competitive side back being shown for VwS. They've got themselves to 3. Of course, it is a 5-3 scoreline overall, but this is much closer, and this is good. It's them on their CT side starting to respond, which, you're calling for them to play slow. in fairness, then they did. They just sat back, they waited for that push, and the picks, they were pretty simple for them to find.
Yeah, another thing as well to mention is VwS on the T side yesterday versus Rocks was far stronger than the CT side. 12-3 on their T half there, so hopefully they can bring that T side again through into this one. Thing is, though, they need to make sure they can cut their losses moving into their CT side. Don't allow the Ts to have too many rounds to work with once the half is over. Aiming for 6 or more, I believe, and if they can win the pistol as well, but it's going to be the first pick for Davcost. The boost there coming into play, and Kivik will fall. Maybe that's just the experience on Davcost. Obviously, played with such experienced IGLs like Blade. Right now, it's definitely showing his experience is putting himself through, and at the minor, he wants to go to the major.
Yeah, that is the goal at the end of the day. Get yourself through to that main qualifier from there. Play for the all or nothing spot. But they have to get there first than that. Seems it is just another map, and they will line up a pound. What a way to step up the plate now as he's playing for his third. Ever so close. Finds himself the dink. Is going to get shut down, but he does enough. The VwS, a 3v2, they have a man advantage. Clear one at that. And you look towards their setups, a lot of pressure is going to build up on towards Kalinka. But he's got the perfect gunner for this.
Just yet. Oh, nice. Perfect catch of the player. Not looking his way. Now needs to hide. Fortunately, though, he does still play aggressive, and Davcost will take him down. Low HP with the AWP. If you can isolate these people into 1 versus 1s, he can definitely do this. He's good. Look at this boost. Doesn't hit the flick, though. Taurus is still facing, though. Don't know how I feel about the aggression. Another whiff shot there from Davcost. The round goes in favor of VwS. You can see how happy they are to win that one, because if they lost that, they would have been on the potential reset. 5-4. If they can keep this going and get 6 or 7, their T side, we know it's formidable. The thing is, though, can they get the second pistol?
Yeah, I feel like the pistol is certainly going to be, an important factor for them. You talk about the 12-3 and such. It'd be intriguing to try and recall if that was off the back of the pistol round, whether or not, and how those rounds were obtained. Because, if I recall rightly, they were, very much based on strings, right? Which in CS, the best thing to do is string together, those 4 or 5, then find that reset round, and string together 4 or 5 again. That's an ideal world, especially if you can't, get the constant 6, 7, 8, 60-0 style.
For sure. Stringing rounds is obviously good to get rounds on the board, to get close to that 16, but it's also about the economy. The higher economy you have, the more risks you can take, and that's so important, especially because VwS, we know they do like to take their risks, and they do like to play aggressive, and definitely shows on their T side. The question is, on their CT side, they have been quite passive, but Pound has been the player to step up in that previous round, doing 300, or so damage into that round. And that's so important because it makes it so much easier for the rest of his players on the CT side to net that round win. And Kivik hit. Oh, doesn't quite get that flick connect, but Davcost does leg him. Gonna go for another boost, and you see how much faster that boost is. He doesn't have to jump up. If he jumps up, that's where Kivik will see his head, right there. Instead, he asks for the boost, and again, Davcost going for the boosts. And I mentioned it before, but the experience right now catching Kivik off guard.
Yeah, the experience is enough to both be a pro and a con. Let's see if he can turn it back on its head and try and make something work, because Pound has been an interesting player in this one, constantly delivering a 2 or 3k here and there, setting himself up using positional advantages to more secure him those frags, but that's something you can't get away with every single time, so certainly seems to be a running trend for VwS and how they approach them. So for now, it looks like Spirit looking to build up towards this B site. Of course, they've got the bomb pretty stacked over towards that monster tunnel entrance. And then short, looking like it's going to be a bit of a split as well, but look at the CT side. They are stacked so hard on fast. The Taurus going to be there, ready and waiting. The sprays, the rifles, they're all going off and all the shots are landing. This will be a bit of a bloodbath. Davcost trying to keep the dream alive. The T side, they've come on the other side with an actual workable spot. This is ridiculous. A 1v1 for Davcost with the P250.
Imagine your Taurus right now, and going through your head, you pull that through and you still lose the round. That's so upsetting for him. All his teammates fail to muster up any help for him, and his teammates do fall. Only Taurus and another one of his teammates, I believe it was Kalinka, finding frags onto the B site, and Fuki does fall, and that means the money, not really too sure how it is in favor of VwS, and their money's fine. Should take that back. I was looking at the T's. Their money is not fun. They're on the full eco. Booster coming out trying to catch the player off guard, but soft. Oh my god, look at that. He's not happy. The pressure and the stress is definitely getting to him, and the frustration especially.
It's all starting to kick in, and that's a lethal concoction of emotions that you really have to learn how to handle. So now, Spirit, they will build things up and look to expose VwS in a fashion that is pretty damn brutal. This should be realistically that 7-4 scoreline coming back. VwS, in terms of how many rounds they need, we talked about it, 5 or 6, especially considering how strong the T side has been in the past. That 12-3 is a big stat to remember. I don't think it's all that bad for them.
Oh, that money again though. Maybe. Oh, they won't be going for the second save. As actually surprisingly as well, Lucky, not Fuki as I mispronounced it earlier. Lucky has had enough for an AWP, 5,600 instead. No AWP for Kivik. He will have the FAMAS, but he does buy the utility, and the utility is important, especially towards B. Molotov for B short, Molotov for Monster. Will it come into play? Not too sure, but potentially it will do, as 4 of these players are playing fast towards B, and actually it's a change of pace here. This might catch the CTs off guard.
For sure. Taurus, last time he did so much in terms of holding the spot, and look at that nade, 44 and 57, and Molto's going to go down, forces them out of position. Dima, an opening headshot on towards Luke. A lot more needs to be done, but Coley, he's going to end Dima's life, a team kill. Spirit, not like this. Don't let this one overcome you. Davkos with the pistol again. He did it in the last round, and now he's doing it again in this one, pushing towards water, looking for the frag. He's going to end the life of Taurus, now looking to take it one step further. This is just pound up towards heaven. Davkos bites off a little too much, more than he can chew. At least pound in a 1v2. Much more doable position, especially considering the information he will now have off the back of those steps.
Player of the match, Pound. For the VwS side, and the problem is though with no utility, you did mention the kit and so forth. The problem is just to find both of these players. He has 5 more seconds as he has picked up he has got the kit in hand. So on this retake, he needs to find one of the players, trying to take too much damage and try to win the second duel. He spots that player, tries to spam it through, will bait out the second one. Can he take this first player down and will reface, tries to bait out the spray, trying to make it whiff. But Tony Black will eventually take that frag and wins that round. You can see how upset they are as Pound loses the 1v2.
I feel like we have to talk about Davkost and the fact that he's able to push in as the third man with a P250 with an AWP on his back and still get a 2k. And it's not the first time.
The pistol, doesn't he?
It does seem to love to tap on those heads. Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one how he's getting away with it, and now you can kind of translate that from having an AWP on his back to a Glock and a Mac-10, because now he just wants to make some money. And you look at him as a player, I think he's sitting on 14 frags at the moment. So, albeit a couple of the shots being a little bit inconsistent from him in terms of the whiffs with the AWP, he's still hitting stuff.
Yeah, and actually, if you can keep that pistol form going into the next pistol, that could be the final nail in the coffin for VwS. This Lithuanian side. Tony Black though, this is a 2v2. Catch that player off guard. Horus now in the 1v2, no armor, so you can see the aim punch unallowing him to get any more taps in with the AK. Oh, the timing though. Coldy catches him off guard. Taurus falls, and once again, all these players with their hands in their heads. I feel so bad for them. They need to take a pause. It needs to be right now.
That's actually a really good point. I think a pause is, perhaps almost a little bit late, to be honest. The whole kind of idea of, hanging your head in your hands and just kind of almost letting those emotions really come to tangle with you as a player. It's a tough one, and I think it's a reality check that a lot of people need. But that's where the pause swings in, right? That's where they have to use that as a momentum breaker and say, you know what, we're taking a second, even if it's just 2 minutes to breathe.
Yeah, just the mental reset as well. You can see the frustration in their face, and where they're playing is with the body language. They're so upset after every round. You can see the passion. They want to win this so bad. The problem is though, Team Spirit are currently outplaying them on the team level and individually. Another boost as well. Cody boosting DM up. Oh no, he spots him. If they go a little bit more to the left, he might be able to catch his head. If he does, that will open up Monster and that will expose him. He did spot the head, so if the reboost comes in, could maybe get that frag in his favor. And smartly, he knows he's been spotted, so he repositions. But the problem is there's an AWP there, be short, trying to catch him off guard. Push comes in from Monster. Tony Black gets the spray, but doesn't quite win it. Taurus wins it. He is low HP though, but no trade frag comes out, and now the Monster push comes.
Look, he's going to peek on out. He has the option to spray them all down, but they're only going to find himself 2. Demo will eventually respond. But it's 2v4, and this is going to be a tough one, especially when you now add into the mix that Kalinka has found the headshot on towards Dima himself, leaving Coley in a 1v4, holding the angle ever so tight on towards short, waiting to see if Pound is going to push him. He's got nades landing at his feet. Surely they know where he is standing.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
And that is a nice one at that, a 90-degree swivel. And it does the job. VwS, once again, fighting.
Definitely the most impressive player so far we've seen from the Lithuanian side at the LAN. Not too sure about online results, but so far he's definitely been the one stepping up to the plate, and he's been taking all of it. Nice spray down there from Lucky. Could imagine there if he had the A4, could have been the third player as well, but nevertheless, we are into the final 15th round, and Galil on soft. AWP on Davcost, but it's going to be the full buy. But no AWP though for the CT side. The first frag goes to favor of Cold, but it will be instantly traded out by Pound. Can he get any more? Oh my goodness, they're pushing in for him. They know where he is, but there's two players here now. Can they cover for each other? The flash comes in. The Imma does get taken down by Pound. Pound finds the third for him, but look at his HP. He's on 8. Davcost gets the flick. We're in the 2 versus 2. This is where the experienced players and the mid-round players come into hand.
Spirit, they're so hungry though, they just keep pushing. They just don't want to hold back. This is ridiculous from both sides of the board. A very overwhelming round in, well, a multitude of ways. But nonetheless, you have to remember just how quick things took place. There's still a minute on the board for this T side to play out a 1v2. Or 2v2, sorry, at that. So much room for them to set themselves up. And you do have to feel for Luki and Taurus from that point of view, because how do they approach this? Do they go for a 1-1 setup? Do they fall back and decide to just go for that poker-style gamble on towards A?
They have the kit, so maybe the most optimal thing to do, pair up together. Play the 2 versus 2 as pairs. You might be thinking in your head, we are individually more skilled than these more experienced players. Maybe stack towards A and retake B. They have a Molotov to flush out some areas, or maybe have the retake towards A. You can Molotov off toilet and try get the Ninja Diffusers Lucky, and both of these players have kits now. They're definitely going to have to retake in A because Tony, he's pushed up towards CT. But once he spots no one here, the bomb shall go down. So 40 seconds on the clock now. With the kit, they've got 35 trying to defuse.
Certainly is going to be a big ask, and they are being ever so slow about how they approach this. Just checking every single angle very systematically. With this surgical style, it could be what comes back to haunt them as Tony now surely has some information. Surely he's heard those steps.
Oh no. This is LAN, you have to remember. Some noises and potentially the crowd might filter out some sound. Lucky finds the first. And does get traded. He doesn't get traded, actually takes down both those players. I mentioned that they should play in pairs and try and, get the 1-for-1 trade and try and play the 1 versus 1, but there is no trade that comes out. Oh, that's such a salty fist bump if I've ever seen one, my goodness.
Yeah, certainly going to be reeling off the back of that, but nonetheless, it secures the half. And we know where we sit now, and I think going into the second half, it does leave it a little bit more open for contention. Of course, we've talked pretty long and hard about the way things are swung for VwS on their T sides. It's time to test that theory.
Yeah, previously the 12-3 half did come out for them, so the only problem being is that the pistol went in favor of them on their CT side, and can they repeat that? Can they get the second pistol? If you get 2 pistols in the best of 1, be it the best of 3, but in this sense it is the best of 1 as they need this map to stay in. They lose, if they win both pistols and still lose the match, it's going to be heartbreaking for them.
Totally going to peek on out, but going to get shut down. Taurus finds himself a double kill with this pistol, now looking for the triple. Davcost eventually going to respond. The USB able to do the work. But quick, ever so hungry for this yet again, just trying to really feed off the energy of his opposition. Skalinka going to hold the angle, but just another edge shot to add. The CT side struggling somewhat in this pistol, and Soft going to respond. But yet again, that phone call, more than one to happily be picked up upon, but quick. A constant drive by Peaks. Spirit, they can't handle these Glock aggression.
Let's pick up the kit though, so he has 5 more seconds. We saw how good he was with the pistol earlier on. Needs to find some swift headshots here. Spraying gets the first. Can he get the... We cannot get the flick headshot. Both pistols go in favor of VwS. They cannot lose the fourth spot here. They need to net themselves the 3 rounds and try to bring it back to 9-9. If it goes to 9-9, we saw how strong their T-side was yesterday. Any of you guys with bets right now on VwS, you better pray they don't lose this one.
That's certainly going to be something to keep your eyes on. But I really want to see how the second round is going to go, because this wouldn't be the first, and something tells me not the last, that we have seen a second round full-stop triumph. We are already going to see a little bit of Kevlar. There are only 3 sets. They've got a scout on Davcost as well. The push is going to come on out. Kalinka will find the first. Tony going to find the second, so it will be a bit of a trading affair. The T side, they look like they're securing this one, but it's going to be a double straight. The CZ brings it back to a 2v2. Pound, 25 HP. That is all he's got. 92 on quick. But they're somewhat spread out. These 1 versus 1s, they would be punishing Soft still up towards heaven with the scout. He finds himself the tag on the push from short. This could be great. He goes to the flick. He finds it on towards Pound. Is this actually happening? Is this real? 92 HP turned into 0. And Team Spirit, they walk away with the upset again the second round. That right there, that is a real heartbreak.
Like, where are you? I've got my frag. Where's your frags? What's happened there? How have we lost that? The second force buy, they lose it. My goodness, you got to think. Just use your utility properly. Use Molotovs. Flush out the players. They go towards B, but you're going towards B. versus pistols. The standard anti-eco and overpass on the T side is go towards long. Flash long, molly out tree, just play it nice and safe, take the long angles, but instead they take the risks, and fortunately for them, does not play in their favour, and they do fall, and now the force by the fast aggression comes out. Kivik does fall. Cody though holding the line, gets a second frag. Though, can they get the reply? No trades for the T side as they finally get one, but it's one far too late. 4 players stay alive for Team Spirit, 11-7. The money is going to go in favour now of Team Spirit.
I don't know what left to say. I'm glad you gave me a bit of a breather there because, well, the comment of "Is this real life?" really sums it up. I can't believe they have managed to lose these second rounds over and over again. It's a story, well, that's frankly put timeless. VwS, you got to work on those, and now you are up against a wall. You need to fight back. We thought you had a good T side. It's been early days just yet. We want to see you on a buy, but you're running out of rounds.
Running out of rounds, running out of momentum, and definitely running out of time. If they can't wake up quick, they will be suffocated by their CT play by Team Spirit. The problem is, though, they are on pistols, so they'll be forfeiting this one, potentially DAV they were 2, making it look easy. Like, it's traded out by that E250, about to say Glock there, but Klinker with his Glock, it's not really what you want in this situation, especially their lucky falls, and Klinker maybe holding the off angle, might be able to find one frag. Dima beeping around, Foons in and takes down Kivik. 12-7.
It's all well and good for the T side to rocket with their Glocks out, but it's about time. They did just that with some rifles. This is what we're going to see. It's going to be the 4x5 flat sets of AK-47s. They've got themselves a smoke and a flash in every player. Bar 2 with a frag grenade instead of those flashes.
No AWP though.
Don't have that AWP, but 5 rifles, if they go together as a team, should be enough to pierce their way onto the site, providing they can break the protection of Spirit.
Their general default here on the T side was get control of party, try and get control of the first part along, smoke off toilets and flash through that toilet area and try and catch players off guard and try and find the first frag towards toilets. They can get that. That's when, you know, the CTs have to over-rotate, have one of the players from B go towards A, and that's when you can slow it down, attack B with your man advantage and, you know, play the 5 versus 2 at the sites. But I mentioned it, there you go. The smoke comes out, the flash comes through, Kalinka trying to find the first, but there's no one there this time. This does mean, though, with control of long toilets, they can get up long. Problem is, though, with no AWP, they can be walking in potentially DAV costs.
I'm going to wait and see as well if Soft decides to go aggressive here, because he could potentially try and set up for a crossfire, especially when you add into the mix Coldy. But we talk about his life, well, it's one that is apparently not that worthwhile, as he's going to fall straight off the bat, and the initial pick to be claimed by VwS. But let's see what direction they will take from this, as the smokes are just going to be sat upon Soft. Looking behind him, but for a specific reason. He's waiting for that flash to come through, and from there going to do the work. And Davkos with the AWP, kicking it back into high gear as he finds that pick on towards Kalinka. The push towards long is going to begin to take some shape, but the cross is just going to be held, and this is going to be so difficult for the T side to try and actually get onto the site.
He gets the frag, and now look, the rotation. Look, they're already running towards CT, but they don't quite realize it's actually going to be A, and their positions are so messed up. Taurus and Poon, Pound catch the players as they rotate. Davkos now in the 1 versus 3. Can he, oh my goodness, that's a flick. What can he do now? Has the knife in hand, trying to find the player in the smoke, but player just doesn't have to show yet. Wait for his teammate. 60 seconds on the clock, though. The bomb isn't getting put down just yet. Davkos now on the default side. We'll have to reface into both these players, trying to find the frag. They're low HP. Flash comes through. Gonna go for the face. Jumps in the box now. The 1 versus 4. We've seen some magical plays from him so far. This could be the ace if he can get it against the 1 headshot. Oh, no. 57 HP. What can he do here? Davkos has the kit, so he's gonna wait for Pound to potentially make the mistake here. Maybe overface. Pound constantly questioning himself. On top of the box. Does he get the spray? Doesn't quite connect it just yet. The push comes in. Davkos baits out the angle. Goes left and right, but doesn't win the spray, and for somehow, some way, Pound wins it.
What a round. The flicks
That
from
flick was
him.
unbelievable.
The pistol shot, the AWP shot, they all tally on up. But we still find ourselves staring upon the same result. Wow.
Shame that. Shame.
Would have been close, but we do have to give props to the T side. They do end up closing it out. It does give them that lifeline. 12-8, not a scoreline to be too shaky about. A bit of a flash mishap, but nonetheless, they're going to set themselves up, and it looks like some early B aggression is going to be the target for both sides. The CT side trying to push on through.
Oh my goodness, making it look easy. He's definitely woken up now, but does get shot down and put to sleep by Poon. Pound, however you want to say that. These names are definitely quite hard to say sometimes. Anyway, Pound finds the first. For the T side, it's going to be the 4 versus 3 now. 1 minute 10 on the clock, so they can play this nice and slow. Try and wait for the CTs to push for information. Find a frag there, hit that site. 3 CT players towards B as well, quite interestingly there, so eventually one of these TT's players will get aggressive, and hopefully for VwS Gaming they can find that frag and play off that.
All comes down to timing. Need to build their way up into things and make sure they hold those angles nice and tight. Of course, that is the CT side. That is the way of things. For VwS, they are going to begin to build up towards the A site. Nothing too fancy this time around in terms of how they're going to approach it. And that is going to be the punishing affair, as it's going to be a blow to quick. He will respond with one on towards softs. And the push is going to begin to take some sort of shape. It's going to be a backwards and forwards affair of shots. Still not quite landing just yet, but eventually going to lead to this push straight through the smoke. Tony to find the first. Pound to find the second.
Pound now the player. Oh my goodness, that was quite strange there. Anyway, Pound now, 1 versus 2. Does get tagged up to only 50 HP. Will be planted the bomb now, 70 seconds. Does fake it. Can he get the play off guard? No, he will not. Cody's on the ball and he drops him. Pound falls.
We're ever so close, right down to the wire. What is there for VwS to do to break this one down? We thought they had a chance. They stepped up to the plate, but their economy now going to be left in tatters.
Yeah, this is the point where I mentioned before that T side for VwS is very, very good because they play hard and they play fast. But losing that, they shall be reset and they are on the full eco. So the aggression maybe not working out for them, but it does in this case because Pound does find the first one to Davkos, but Kalinka falls, and now towards Connector they can find this frag with this MP9. Just spray down that player, soft falls. 1-man lead, but no armor, so I am still favouring the CTs here.
For sure, this should be an opportunity, nice and clear cut for them, providing they can actually do the damage what we're expecting. As long as it's going to be held, Tony, a man to watch, and if he can do this, his barrel potentially going to be spotted out by Quick and Co as they begin this push, but this crossfire could also be lethal in itself, and Tony, he's just sitting ever so tight. They don't check the corner. The T side, you have to check this Pound. He's going to fly on around, checks the corner. A second 1D on towards Colby. Great work coming out from him as it leaves Dima a 1v3. This, not a situation you would favour the CT side for, but he still finds that initial pick. Now looking for the second, trying to chase them down, looking for Pound on towards the site. Molotov over towards Long, doesn't realise he's being pushed in from behind. Nisa begins to accelerate this push. But bit by bit, he's checking the side. Doesn't look to his right, and the SMG gonna be enough to overcome him. VwS, they get their 9th.
Alright, I think I'm about 5 seconds ahead of you there, by the way.
Yeah, I have gathered that. I've just had a look, and it looks like things may be a tad decent. So, gonna try and...
How about this? How about this? I'll let you do the play-by-play, so you don't spoil the stream, and I'll just, you know, analyse what happened in the round.
It's all good. You take it how it is. We got this.
In the 1 versus 2 there, the player smoking the bomb. The problem was, though, he did not tap the bomb. And when you don't tap the bomb, there's no reason to face if you're the T side. So, unfortunately for him, in the 1 versus 2, the Ts, they opt to not give away that frag. And they played it nice and smart. They do net themselves the first frag. But going into this round, it's going to be heavy stack towards B. Not quite the rush yet, but eventually, though, they will take control of B short and try to get map control that way.
Certainly looking to see what can be done. Those pistols, not necessarily the more ideal weaponry to be utilising. There's going to be a bit of a jump peek here and there. Kalinka, an attempt to punish. But for now, it's going to be a bit of an idling T side. They get themselves set up for these smokes. The B side, of course, going to be a very, very apparent target as the smoke is going to go down on towards the site. It should allow for a bomb plant. And most importantly, a bit of a bait and switch as Pound going to find the first on towards Dima. Looking now for a second. Kalinka steps up to the plate now, looking to take it one step further on towards Tony. And bit by bit, they will fall. And VwS, they make quick work of these pistols. The Scout of Davkost and the 5.7 of Soft, all that is left remaining.
Bomb going down now, and with the bomb going down and no kits on these CT players, they have to play fast. But there's 5 players they have to find, and at this point, maybe even just save what you have and try to win the next one. But Davkost will fall. Pound finds that frag, and hopefully I'm not spoiling too much for the stream, but that round was pretty telegraphed anyway.
I'm hoping that the stream hasn't been insanely spoiled. It's a bit of a difficult one because our feed comes from Russia, so at times there is a bit of a desync and delay and stuff. I have reset our side of things, so we've done what we can do. Yeah. So we've done our side. Whether anything will change, who knows? Can tell there are a couple of audio hiccups here and there, but
I think we're fine then. If you reset, then we should be fine. We should.
Fingers crossed.
We should be Gucci and good to go.
I believe. Let's go into this one.
Just play it normally now. I won't have to think about doing all the other stuff before. Anyway. Low money now for the CTs, 13-10. This is where you can really start to claw it back if you're VwS. The Lithuanian side and the Lithuanian passion definitely putting themselves through this one. 3 rounds separating these 2 players, and already the map 1 lead for Team Spirit. So VwS, they're going to have to conjure something up if they want to keep themselves at the minor.
They're certainly going to be fighting against a whole lot of Bleeth right now as we all started to lose that faith. But keeping themselves alive, it's a solid and heartful fight. They have 3 more rounds to find for equalization, and one, at least in the immediate future, should be fairly easy. A Spirit, full eco, an investment of effectively nil aside from a couple of upgraded pistols.
$600 basically.
Yeah, it
If
shouldn't
that,
really
so-
be too much.
Nade coming out from Kivik there. He does find the first into soft, and as I just previously mentioned, with full eco, so don't want to read too much into this unless they can get some guns out of the T's hands. And observers' cameras going all over the place, but the frags are going in only one place, and that is the T's hands. 5 stay alive. Good for the economy here. 13-11. Now leading into this round, will they try and drop the M4 and go for an AWP, or will they stick to 5 rifles? And if they stick to 5 rifles, how will they opt to play it? Do they want to go fast B, try and catch the shooters off guard and try to change the pace, take control of B short potentially fast? As that worked for them. Going fast B short did work for them. The problem is though, the AWP now on Davkos, he needs to find an early frag here.
And wants that pick, and if he can get that pick, then that would be the much more, ideal situation for him to be, sat in. But whether he can get it, that is the big question. That is what we're all waiting to see as quick. I'm wondering if he has swat out Coldy, who was going for a bit of a jump peek. Actually going to continue to push up through short, and the flash is going to be perfect. Nearly makes a bit of a blunder, but is going to get away unscathed nonetheless. Drops down a bit of a defensive smoke, and the T side, they can try and force the issue, but they're all a little too late to try and return. Now, if they want to push, they're going straight through a smoke. And one that's going to be blinding.
Colder here has played this angle before, and actually the boost coming out from Kalinka. He wants to try and find the early frag onto the site, trying to, rekindle the numbers, but he will give away his position. They know he's been boosted there. They know there's 2 players be short. That is going to telegraph the T play, and the bomb is still towards outside B, so is it really too much the T's can do here? They're going for the boost. I actually do like this. They can catch DM off guard, and yes, they will. He does actually lose that battle. Kalinka falls. 13-11, the most crucial round so far for VwS to try and claw this one back, and they're 2 men down.
Going to be a tough one for them to try and work with as they begin to peek around from short, just almost a bit of a bait and switch style. It's not really leading to too much just yet. It's just about the patience of Taurus as he tries to spam through the wall. They have to get the bomb to the site. That's the problem right now, is that clock. It's not going to stop for no man. There's 30 seconds, and the only way to get that to run on further is to plant that bomb. And when we talk about going for the plant, Dima going to punish down Taurus. Pound. And look at the last 2 remaining.
He's not dead. 20 seconds down. They have to push in. Davkos holding. Oh my goodness, that's a shot from Lucky. Will get instantly traded over soft. Pound finds 2 headshots and 1 through the wall. My goodness. This guy does not want to lose, but unfortunately for him, the bomb has to go down. He loses the 1 versus 2.
Yeah, time
Insane
really...
shots, though.
Insane shots. But time was the deciding factor, unfortunately, no matter how great those shots were going to be. They just didn't have the time to make the more sensible play in that 1v2. It comes back to the point of, well, they tried so hard, but things need to be perhaps sped up a little bit, because right now, even though they're hitting some shots, there are certainly some flair out the way they're bringing things, and they've got to 11. Spirit still have 14. They need 2 more to close it out.
Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't even see that. 31 frags for Pound. He is playing his heart out. But you got to think as well, these are young players, and right now, if you're an NA team, you better hope and pray that Pound speaks English, because if he does, he definitely has a very strong career ahead of him if he doesn't make it domestically in the CIS region. Anyway, though, enough about the future, more about the present. 14-13, the buy is about 5 rifles and the AWP on Davkos. And if the T's, if they opt to play this slow, they may just fall into the hands of the AWP if Davkos can get it rolling. They are going to go for the set default, flash through the smoke as they keep on doing, but there's no players here, unlike when they played versus Rocks. There's no one here on the CT side to give away these frags.
Yeah, that is going to be both, yet again, a pro and a con. But for now, the C side, they're potentially going to face right in towards Davkos crosshair. He's waiting so idly by, just lining them up, trying to see if he can find that pick. And as much as we don't quite get to see what is going to take place, he still gets to pick nonetheless. He doesn't need no viewer, doesn't need no spectator, because he is doing his job, pinning down toilets, looking now for a second.
Double scoped in as well, quite strange there, but holding the tight angles, can he find the frag? And if he finds this frag, he will find the bomb, and that's when the rotations from B come in. That's when it gets very, very dire for VwS. They don't want it to go to 15. They really want to keep the match point. And actually, this is good play from Davkos, but unlucky timing. Can he still find the frag towards toilets?
Certainly is going to be a big ask, and just look at Soft spot. They're trying to pre-fire him. They know he likes to play this. Davkos over towards long is going to miss the shot. Soft now pushing in towards the inner lane of toilets. Will get punished. Pound stepping up the plate, finds the frag on towards Davkos. Quick, a second on towards Tony. This is great from VwS. They are fighting and they're making it happen. They get themselves on the site. They get that bomb plant down with good time to work with. And Coldy and Dima, they have to retake this one, but look at the map. They're so far away. They need to just save. VwS, The Flame. It's back alive again.
Oh yeah, the Flame in-game, especially between themselves, thinking, how on earth have we lost toilet control there? Davkos thinking, I've got the first frag, just play a bit more passive. Allow the retake to come in. You have the man advantage, just play the 4 versus 5 retakes. They had utility. But unfortunate scenes here for Team Spirit, but very, very fortunate scenes here for VwS. 12-14, and the money as well. It's going to be so bad on these CT players. They need to try and find these last 2 they're trying to save, because if they do, that'd be the full harsh reset onto Spirit.
It will be an uncomfortable prospect if that does take place, because then you look at that reset and you look at the rounds and go, okay, 14-12. They get that reset, we're looking at 14-14. And from there, anything can happen.
Yeah, it can. I mean, the interesting thing as well is, what if Team Spirit get to 15 and it's 15-12 or 15-13? Do the VwS opt to go for the force bite, or do they allow them to go to overtime? That'd be quite interesting, but for now, they still have the chance to win this out in just the 30 rounds if it goes to 16 in their favor. 5 rifles, and actually the force bite coming up for Team Spirit, so the reset comes out, but they did have enough money for some pistols, utility, and rifles.
Very much scraping the bottom of the barrel, though, in terms of what they could bring to the table. It's by no means not too pretty of a mount, and well, it looks like we're going to see a first quick flick coming in from Pound. Finds himself one now, looking for the second. Will lose his life in the process, as Colby more than happy to oblige in punishment. A service that is almost certainly pleasing for the CT side. But look at Taurus, he's got a lot of information now. He knows the rotate is coming back in towards B. The CT's looking to go relatively aggressive in towards Taurus, but Kalinka, he's ready to give them a hug. He goes for the headshot, but the CZ...
Smart play there. God. Taking initiative there, and they go for the early face, and they take him down, but Davkos, Kivik on side gets 3, and all these 3 of these CT players just fall, and he gets the 4th as well. Oh, especially when it counts, he does pull it through, and without the open hand, he brings it to the table with the AK-47 Kalashnikov, and 4 frags on A will net them the 13, and right now, if you're Team Spirit, you've got to be worried, because it's going to go 14-14, and right now, the momentum is definitely in the Lithuanian side.
Well, this is what we're talking about. Not only is it now 14-14, you look at momentum, you look at the sheer mentality of VwS. They're cheering, they're getting excited, they're starting to believe in themselves again, and this is the VwS we wanted to see. And let's see if they can really bring this one well and truly home now, as we believing it's going to be able to spray down from Kalinka over towards long transfers. It's all 3 heads. We'll eventually get traded on out, but hey, can't complain. Davkos at least going to find minimum of 1.
Well, oh, Jesus Christ, that was a spray. When it really matters, these Lithuanians have unbelievable aim. I thought he only got 1 there, and they flicked insta headshot the second one, and then as he comes to get the third, just headshots him and rips his head off. Jesus.
Wow. A lot left to be said, but one thing is for certain
insane.
Is that, well, now it's a talking point. We can sit here, we can absorb those reactions and have a think. And that's what the players are doing right now as well. And Spirit, arguably looking for that kind of mental boundary that will allow them just to squeeze out those last 2.
Look at this as well. Gets the headshot there. Flick insta headshots him, and then as he comes to try and get that third player, headshots him too. Jesus, that is a nice spray coming out from him, but nevertheless, it is 14-14, and this is the round that means all. Will the experience pay off for Team Spirit? Or the individual skill, the passion for the Lithuanian side to stay in this minor? Will it pull them through as they try and go 1-1 in this best of 3?
They are going to be lacking in the AWP department, so longer range battles certainly not going to be too plentiful for them, something Davkos will be looking to train. But you have to remember, he's also glass cannon, that potentially could play into things. But for now, it's going to be an early start. Some pressure built up over towards this A site. Spirit playing fairly passively on all fronts.
Yeah, no armor on his AWP will mean he probably won't play as aggressive as we've seen him. He likes to go towards toilets, get the first frag, but now he's playing towards the site. Might just hold off long with this angle, and holding an angle like that so tight-knitted there means that you probably have to be headshot if he wants to fall then. Having the armor doesn't need to make too much difference in that situation. Problem is that the T's have control of toilets, so eventually Davkos will have to peek. But can he get the flick? No, he cannot. Does tag Kivik at the 50 though, so still connects a shot, but doesn't get the frag, and this is where the pressure will soon come in for him as the 5 T players push on towards A.
VwS in effect are a tsunami at this point. A whole lot of pressure building up into one huge storm, which is going to be a tough one to try and blow on over. And Spirit are going to still be sitting ever so tightly on the site. Davkos with the ADP just playing so passively, so patiently, but he's going to get nothing done. Kalinka flies in out, finds the first pick. The smoke's going to be completely blinding. A perfect execute coming in from VwS. And now Soft, he's going to try and respond. He tries to go for the spray. Tony will at least find himself one. Soft finds the second on towards Quick. But, oh, not like this. That sits ever so perfectly. It's going to be the 3v3. Quickly turned back on its head by Taurus.
Cordy, though, finds the frag onto Troc. It's just going to be him, then, the 1 versus 3. Takes on the first player, 1 versus 2. Lucky and Taurus, can they hold the line now? Cordy on top of the box, trying to catch a player off guard, but there's no reason for them to peek. And then jumps point, this is good. They're not committing, and right now, Cordy without the kit, he might even opt to save, try and get that AWP. Just thinking in his head, is it worth the risk? No, it's not. Will retreat and save. It's just an M4, no utility as well, so the money going into this next round will be pretty dire for them. The passion pulls through. It's going to be 15-14.
He's doing so much damage as well, just knocking down Taurus at the end of things, make sure that he can save. Not really going to be limiting what the T-Side can buy, of course, as they have a lot of money built up over $10,000 a player in their coffers. But I'm more dazed and overall confused that we even got to this point. At VwS, they looked so excruciatingly rough at the start. They kept on fighting, they kept squeezing out every small round here and there.
Completely opposite to what we saw in Dust 2, where, you know, 7 rounds in, 8 rounds in, you already looked like they couldn't really take the game too seriously. And right now, they've managed to keep the mental fortitude strong. They have stayed in this one. Soft now pushing towards long. This kill could determine so much if he gets the information. The map control, if he falls as well, it may just open up the A-bomb site.
VwS, they started playing for the crumbs. Now they've realised we're not playing for crumbs anymore. We're playing for the whole goddamn pie. As they are making it work, and all they need is one more round to keep up their fight, go into that third map of Mirage. And 5 frags is the separating mark.
He needs a team flash right now. He needs to wait for the flash. Behind the box, but I don't think Davkos has one. No, he doesn't. Gets the headshot down to Kivik. First frag goes in favor of Team Spirit, and right now, we could be looking at overtime unless there's a reaction from the T's. You see too long. Go fast up mid, but unfortunately that player in toilets, he doesn't take the initiative and he stays there. Maybe the pressure getting to him, and maybe it has, because full blind, Kalinka falls in the back, Soft will take him. 5 versus 3.
This one completely swinging back off the scales yet again, because you look towards that bomb, it's almost blatantly going to be diving over towards that B side, but the rotates, they're starting to take shape. This could be a sheer cut bloodbath for VwS. They need all the picks, they need them quick, and they need them right now as they will begin their push. It's going to formulate Demo with that UMP over towards his B side, trying his best to pin things down. He needs to be an anchor, tries to drop it dead. It's not quite going to be good enough. Tony, on the other hand, plays elevated and makes it work, a pick for himself, leaving it to a 2v4.
Oh my goodness, if he finds another one here. Don't face. If you're Soft right now, don't face from heaven. Just allow the bomb, the time, sorry, to dwindle down. Tony now battling with Pound, but I don't think he can find the frag. Looky here towards side. Gets the headshot onto Davkos. They know where both these TT players are. They can bait out the bomb. Pound needs to find this frag. He doesn't know, because Tony wins versus Lucky. Pound in the 1 versus 2. 5 seconds. Finds one. Doesn't even find that one player. Gives up. The knife is out. Takes his hand off the keyboard as well.
He knows at that point. There was no chance he could plant. He was not going to find 2 back-to-back one-taps.
He must be so close to the 40 bomb. He must be so close to 40 kills at this point.
Unfortunately, Snods, as much as I love the stats, they don't mean anything right now. What they care about is getting that W. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to overtime.
We are indeed. So first overtime we've seen so far. Do you know if there's a break between or not?
I'm pretty sure we are just going to go straight into things, and that's the hilarity of it. This is the first time we've actually had to look into this. So the question is the protocol of it almost. It's just a hilarity in itself. Of course, I'm going to expect it to be standard. I don't think we are going to be disappearing anywhere anytime soon. If anything, we're going to be sitting here on the edge of our seats, ready and waiting to see yet again another great display of Counter-Strike. Because as much as this may not be backwards and forwards, round for round displays,
I finally got that plushie, by the way. It's a Red Bull. I was thinking, why the hell is there a pink ball on top of that guy's computer? Anyway, the event is sponsored by Red Bull, of course, so what can you say? Anyway, leading into overtime, experience is what you've got to bring up right now, because leading into the most pressured events and times into the match, overpass, this is the match to keep them in the mine. If they lose this, Team Spirit will 2-0 VwS. If they lose this, we're going on to Mirage, so Team Spirit, the experience pulls them through and brings them to OT. The passion, not quite enough. The problem is, this is what I meant, the pent-up passion, they get that 15th. They think in their heads, we've done this, boys, we've done it. And it must be so deflating for them to lose that round and go into overtime.
Well, one thing for certain, I hope that doesn't affect them, because they need to get back up off of their feet. They need to put their hands on the keyboard, back on their mice, because they have to play some CS, and they have to play for that W. They are going to begin to set themselves up. Taurus Bonded up with the rest of his teammates. Very much aggressive over towards B short. Looks like they may even just continue the charge. Coldy, of course, going to be looking to hold things off, and we'll try and prod around a bit with this M4.
You got to think as well, earlier Kalinka flashing through that toilet smoke. Potentially, what happens when he flashes through that B short smoke could catch Coldy off guard, but here comes the execute. DM peeking towards Monster, get tagged up, and now they know where he is. Kalinka pushing through Monster. Will he win the duel? No, he will not. He will be sprayed down, but DM gets the second. No, he doesn't. Pound finds that, the 4 versus 4.
It's the complete and utter role reversal. 24/7, the Thrax you think they should find, they aren't able to, but then they push the smokes and they make it work. Taurus on towards Tony. They've taken control of the B site. And Spirit, they're trying to come in on this rotate. Holy, gonna find the pick on towards Quick, but it's still a 3v3. And Davkos over towards A gets the pick on towards Luke, looking like they are going to begin to realize that, hang on a second.
This is a save.
Well, I look at this and go, hang on, they thought they were saving, but then they found these picks. They may actually try and go for this now. They've got a lot of time.
Right, the 2 versus 3. The problem is, though, the time has been dwindling, so they need to find an early frag, and Taurus will shut that down. 2 versus 2 now. Davkos with the pistol. We've seen him be so phenomenal with it. Finds a dink. Can he get the kill, though? Doesn't quite connect it. Cordy, though, finds the kill onto Poo. Taurus now, the 1 versus 2, but will be overwhelmed and swarmed and falls as the first round in overtime. Does go in favour of Team Spirit. They can keep this one going. They have the momentum in the overtime. And then on the CT side, the problem is, though, for VwS, we saw their CT side was just lacking. They need to get as many T rounds as they can, and that Def's there, he's not happy.
I have to hop in here and really make a huge point, though. It felt like they were guaranteed to be saving up until Davkos got that mid pick.
Yeah, it was
when
my
they're pushing
bad. I saw
him
them run back. I saw them run back, but actually it was Heaven going.
That's not even the point. The point is that if the T side didn't just start pushing for frags over towards the A site, the CT side may have just saved. They may have not went for it because they didn't know the position. They thought, okay, they're stacked on the site. Our chances are slim. Let's just save. But off the back of those picks, they decided, you know what? It's a 3v2. Let's push. We've got kits. The bomb's just gone down. We've got time. That is disastrous.
Yeah, but the previous round nets them the first one, and now leading to this one, VwS have actually opted for the 5 rifles. So interestingly, no AWP there. So maybe an execute coming up for them. Maybe they just want the rifles in the retake. Maybe thinking the AWP hasn't really worked out for them so far. Kivik, he's had more impact with the rifle than he has the AWP, so change of pace, maybe slowing things down. And they went towards B last time. Can see them try and hit A this time.
Certainly would be an exciting prospect if they do. And I mean, Luke is practically touching tips in the smoke at this point, and he's going up with a headshot on towards Soft now, looking for a second on towards Davkos. He's holding the angle. He's hungry for this one. He's going to go for the shot, but the jump, it's going to be perfectly timed. Allows him to stay alive for just a second longer, going for the wallbangs. Davkos, he's so hungry for this. He wants this shot. He's going to go aggressive. Tony, with the M4, finds the shot.
2 frags for Tony there towards mid, and actually these 2 players are almost spraying each other perfectly through the smokes here. Tony Black gets himself the 3rd. Coldy gets that frag towards A. Right now, VwS, they look deflated. They need to fill themselves back up if they want any chance of winning this, and actually Pound will find one. Instantly dies. The instant trade coming from Davkos with his AWP. And we're looking at a 2-round lead already in overtime, and you only need 4 now to win this. If they can get all the CT rounds, I don't know how I feel for VwS. Their T side initially is what was their strong point, and the CT side was lacking.
Well, that's the concern, right? They started their comeback on their T side. That's when they really started to get themselves into their groove, and they actually were able to connect rounds together that meant something. In overtime, it seems like a completely different trend. They are struggling now. As much as it is a much smaller sample size, at the end of the day, small sample size means every round counts, and already it's the initial picks from Davkos with his AWE who's just woken up even harder in OT.
First round, first frag even on the board for Davkos. Using the AWP more aggressive this time, finds his team the first pick. Haven't seen that too often. Usually the CT's playing aggressive, straight playing defensive. So the aggression catches the T's off guard, and the first frag does fall in favour of the CTs. Now Davkos playing aggressive still. Catches that player, gets the information, tries to go for the tag, but doesn't quite connect it. But does expect the player towards long. Gets him pistol out, does he get the headshot? No, he doesn't. Pound trades him. 3 versus 3.
CT side, they're still looking to hold things off, and the rifle finds itself the quick headshot on towards Pound. He does enough before life will eventually be traded now. This brings us back to a 2v2, and it's going to be aggression coming out from Coldy. But Kalinka, he makes the mess of things. He makes this one back to the realm of possibility as Taurus. 1v2, and he's going aggressive. He's looking for a frag of his own to bring this back to a 1v1, so a smart decision, but Coldy, he's holding the angle. The peak is going to happen.
The 1 versus 1 now. Will he overthink this, throw the nade, and then go back to A, or will he just commit and go towards B? And he believes he will be doing the latter. As he throws the smoke down, fails it though, so if Dima gets here fast, he might catch him as he rotates from the site, but Dima now expecting Taurus to be close. Does he catch him? No, he doesn't, so now he has no idea where he is. Taurus are going to face, does he get the shot? No, he doesn't. And he's been spotted around the pillar position. This is the problem now. They know where he is. The Molotov comes up. Will it make him face? Yes, it will. But still no kill to be connected. DMO towards heaven, drops down towards water. He would have heard this potentially. Oh, gets a shot and he takes him down. 17-16. All to play for now for VwS.
Not perfect by a long shot, but at least they got one round. That is... Right there, that's the air gap they needed, right? It means that they can't... Well, they can, should we say, afford to make at least one possible mistake going into the second side. But it's incredibly important they don't in the same regard. Just because you have room to maneuver yourself doesn't mean you should.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So, leading into the first round of CT, we'll be seeing an AWP on Kivik and an AWP on Davkost. How will he use the CT AWP? That's one of the questions we've been asking ourselves, because gets aggressive towards toilets on CT. The question is, how does he opt to change things on his T side? So, more of a default setup coming up from the T's. 1B, 1 connector, 3 towards mid. We've been seeing the same throughout most of the tournament here on overpass, but this is actually a nice spot. Don't see this too often. Kivik holding the playground angle, but the flash will make him fall, and he didn't shoot, and that's important. If he did shoot there, he would have given away his position, and that would have meant that Davkost could have gone anywhere else on the map and could have played far more aggressive and known he would be peeking into rifles.
Spirit going to continue the push. They are looking to get themselves a foothold on towards this A site as flashes will be popped in towards toilet. Pound, by far, probably one of the men of the match, I guess you could say, in terms of arguable vicinity as he goes for the spray, but Davkost going to punish him. A quick flick with the AWP is enough to add on to the tally as now they go for the boost, looking to clear out every single portion of long. But the real fight, it's going to be on the site itself. That's really where things will get more, brutal, I guess is the most apt way of describing it. As Quick is going aggressive.
He needs to do this, though. He needs to find map pressure and map control back because they've lost it. But the problem is, Soft on the ring around the roses might even catch him off guard. And Kivik here, still trying to find a player. Will he get the backstab? Does he catch him? No, he doesn't. Goes into connect. It's such a weird backstab because there's players all around him. And now Cody has the knife out. And that's actually be quick. Kivik to have the AWP frag onto Cody, but instantly traded by Tony. And now the spray from Kalinka finds him the frag. Will he expect the players from long? Definitely hears them. Will he get the frag? Walks into his crosshair, but it's going to be DMO that takes that frag. 2 versus 3. Spirit with the experience, the Spirit with the lead as DMO tries to further that lead. Tries to get another frag, does, and it's going to be the 1 versus 3 for Taurus. Has the kit though, but no utility, finds the frag. Low HP on DMO. Davkost on low HP too, with the AWP though, and 8 seconds, the bomb does finally go down.
The peak is going to come in from Davkost though, and he will seal the deal right there and right there in the Spirit.
Match
they
point.
Get themselves onto match point. And why even call it match point anymore? It is series point. This is the most important round Spirit are going to be playing in this series. They've been playing so hard, but the same has to be said for VwS. I really think that, they're so deserving of this at this point.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, they need these rounds. 2 back-to-back, pitch-perfect performance. Kalinka on the AWP.
This could potentially be the final round for them of the minor. Kivik here gets flashed up mid. He wants to play aggressive. Wants the first kill to go in his favor because he keeps going the cheese. Doesn't even get one. But the trade does come from Pound. Trying to get a second one. Can he get it? Yes, he can. He'll get the third reload. He has to play close to him. Goes for the spray and actually gets it. Somehow Tony falls and he's still alive. Does somehow die though. Soft with the eventual trade, but Pound making himself worth every single frag there. Gets all 3, and that's going to make such a big difference now as he steps up to the plate in potentially the final round for them in the minor.
This is perfect, but Soft over towards long. Gonna find that frag and brings it back down to the standard echelons of a 2v2. Making this one doable for the Spirit side of things, but you have to remember Taurus and Kalinka, they are still standing. They are not going to give this one up easily. We've already seen what Passion can do as Pound. He's been popping off just insanity throughout this series. Finds himself a 3k. He's now asking the rest of his teammates, all they do is find 2. Should be a simple task on paper, but in reality, much more difficult than they imagine, as it's going to be 40 seconds on the clock.
Problem is though, look where they are. They are long, so eventually the CT's pushing for information, and I believe it's Taurus here that might actually catch one of these players out towards long toilets, and whoever wins this duel, Taurus though gets caught off guard, but somehow gets the headshot to Soft, flicks and brings him down. The 1 versus 1 Davkost with the rifle, swaps out the AWP, and it's Kalinka with his AWP, and they're actually going to play the mind game so well. Kalinka now going to be caught off guard here, but with 14 seconds on the clock, once he sees nothing, he should rotate fast because he's going to realize eventually the bomb will go down.
Yeah, he's going to be planting it down in that corner, not quite realizing it over on the CT side of things, and eventually going to opt to have to rotate back, of course, knowingly awaiting that setup. There's still going to be patience. Eventually going to drop down in towards Sewers. But look at Davgos over towards Shaw, and he's just not going to face. He's just going to hold the angle, gets himself set up, waiting for the prime time. And this is going to be it. Goes for the swing out, connects the shots, and Team Spirit.
It's going to be GG there. 16, not 16-14, we're in overtime. 19, I believe, so unfortunate scenes here for VwS, but nonetheless, a great tournament showing from them, even though it was only on overpass. The only maps they did win here was overpass, but such a good showing from Pound there. Over 40.
Incredible work, and I think they are certainly, you know, as a team, worth their weight in gold. And I think that has to be said for Pound as well. By far the strongest player in that series across all 10 players, and it really shows you, what feelings can do, right? He was just playing so emotional, put everything he got into every single round, and he was pulling 3Ks and 4Ks, and unfortunately for him, at times his team just still couldn't close things out.
Yeah, so unfortunate scenes there, but nevertheless the experience gathered. So hopefully they can bring this through into more tournaments, and as things progress, they can step up to the plate with more experience on the belt, because they definitely have the talent. They definitely do have the talent.
Well, we have to remember now, Team Spirit, they are one step closer. One step. All they need now is to go ahead into that winners finals, get themselves into the grand finale, and from there, well, we'll see you at the main qualifier. But until that point, of course, we do have ourselves a second best of 3 of today, and that'll be coming very, very soon. In the meantime, we are going to head to a break, but make sure, guys, if you have enjoyed that series, go get involved, go talk about it on Twitter, go talk to your friends, because this is the CIS Regional Minor. This is the championship for some of the best teams in this region who haven't quite qualified for the minor just yet. And it's about time we start to celebrate these guys as they are putting their heart and soul into this one.